Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. Joining me in studio as customary on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. is none other than the inimitable Nick Pagliochini.
Your vocabulary is so incredible, Mo. Truly. Just in general, but yeah. I always feel so well educated tuning into Later with Mo Kelly.
It's all an act.
It's fine. This smoke and mirrors is quite attractive. I do have to say that much. So, how are you, boss?
Always good to see you. What are you wearing tonight for those who want?
I am decked out in my Universal Fan Fest nights, which actually starts this week. So that's going to be the big focus of all the details. In fact, I literally came right over the hill before the show, got to try some of the food, got to experience a little bit of that, and then I will be back there Friday night for opening night. And then I'll be back there on the 9th of May. So I'll be doing quite a bit with Universal Studios. The thing that's really cool about this, if you have ever done Halloween Horror Nights, that is something that is incredibly synonymous with Universal Studios. And what is happening now is specific to that. You will be able to, as you can see if you're visiting us on YouTube right now, you can get a little tease of the Fan Fest activities that'll be happening. But in the Halloween season, you get all of the Halloween things. And so what they're doing is taking the same footprint of a lot of these walk-through houses and attractions and giving them a whole new flavor. So Star Trek, if you're a fan of Star Trek, they'll be there. Of course, the two existing things that are in park all the time for you at Universal Studios Hollywood are going to be Super Nintendo World with Super Mario and Friends. And then you'll also be able to experience the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So all of those things are there, and we'll have an even better representation for you. But what is exciting, or will be something for you to experience, is going to be Star Trek, which is not. In fact, I got a little bit of a sneak peek, and I'm kind of excited about it because if you watched the series Picard on...
I watched some of it.
So, okay. When you saw the Enterprise D from The Next Generation, when you saw the bridge that was in that series, so they had to recreate it from the original series that had been retired. Yes, it's kind of been piecemealed out, and a lot of different people from the Star Trek world own parts of the original Enterprise D's bridge. They actually took the bridge from Picard, the series, and will be on that set as part of one of the experiences. So very cool. If you ever remember attending Universal Studios years ago, I'm going to say 80s and 90s, they had a Paramount experience, and you're able to experience the original series of Star Trek, and now you're able to experience a whole new world by getting a little peek at Picard, but also a special walkthrough attraction, which if you are familiar with the lot, they did a Walking Dead year-round Halloween event for a couple of years, and that is just up on the upper lot near Universal Plaza. That is where Star Trek Red Alert will be, you'll be able to experience it. Back on the backlot set, and in-world experiences, they're calling them, you'll actually be able to go to where certain scenes from Back to the Future were filmed. And so that'll be a whole experience for you. Also, Dungeons and Dragons Secrets of Waterdeep will be there. And I actually got to see some of the Dungeon Masters that will be available for you, and some really incredible villains from Dungeons and Dragons will also be available. And then you've got One Piece, which is anime. They have the Grand Pirate Gathering happening up on the upper lot.
Did you talk to Tual about that?
I have not.
You should.
But I will, because that's where I got to eat the food from. So if you look at Nick Pagliochini or This Weekend with Nick on Instagram right now in the stories, that's also a link for you to be able to see us on YouTube. But I also gave you a preview of one of the meals that you'll be able to enjoy while you're checking out FanFest at Universal. Also, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hunger of the Cursed is going to be going on. That'll be an additional thing for you to experience. So there's a lot happening. And I think the thing that I'm excited about this specifically is because I love Halloween. We all know that. That's not news if you've tuned into Later or KFI or Coast or anything here for the time I was with iHeart. I specifically am a huge fan of the immersive experience, and this is a whole new level of that because we've talked about it briefly. We'll talk about it as it comes up because it should be August. Horror Unleashed will be coming to Las Vegas at Area 15. That is going to be a year-round Halloween experience from Universal Studios. But specifically, that's this whole thing. And I'm excited because as opposed to Disney, who does a lot of these after dark events, and I always encourage you to really go because it's a fantastic time to get really short wait times on attractions, even if you're not into that specific idea, or if that's not, maybe you're not a fan of a certain portion of the Walt Disney canon, if you will. Maybe Star Wars is not your thing, but Star Wars Night is going on right now, and it is still not sold out at Disneyland. So it's a great time for you to experience all the attractions. Here at Universal Studios Hollywood, that is a very different story. There is a very different story because these are immersive experiences like you've never had. So John Murdy is the mad scientist, or has been the mad scientist behind all the Halloween events. I hope to meet some of the team coming up here soon with Universal, but it's exciting. And also they added late to the game, Wicked will be there. So you'll be able to meet Galinda and Elphaba. They will both be there. And so much more. Like there's more and more things that I have been privy to, but can't really speak on quite yet. So
let me ask you about that, because a week or so ago, we were talking about the slow evolution of City Walk.
Sure.
As it leads into Universal Studios, and how Universal Studios is building out that park. They're also building up hotels around the property.
Correct.
What did you notice, if anything, about the change
It's
of it?
really a different world. And I was going to say, we did talk about it. You guys talked about it here on later. Having walked through it today, there's so many new businesses that are coming, both restaurants, bars.
So it's not dead.
It's not dead. And I think that's the thing. As opposed to Florida, where Universal Orlando is truly a resort. You have to always remember that Universal Studios Hollywood is a theme park that they shoved into a working studio. So it's very, very different. So when you're talking about the Hilton or the Sheraton, which overlook the property right now, that's where the vast majority of people were being put up who were filming things. Up until the recent past when there was a theme park there. So you could also see Universal Plaza. You can see One Universal. You can see NBC Universal from the 101 freeway, as well as part of the 134 as you're coming over here toward Burbank. And so it's very interesting, but so many businesses are closed right now, and there's not a whole lot of footprint of anything once you're on site, as opposed to maybe Knott's Berry Farm and Buena Park. You've got lots of things around that area. Disneyland and Anaheim, you've got plenty of things going on. Here, you're kind of in Universal City. And granted, you can go across the 101 over to Ventura Boulevard and go over to Studio City, but there's not a lot going on there. But the things that are coming to City Walk, I'm stoked for, because that thing is, as opposed to the Orlando resort, where they have really leaned into their City Walk and having incredible restaurants and bars and nightclubs and everything else. We never really had that here, sadly. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited to see what's going to be coming, especially with the new summer season right around the corner. We've also got the brand new Fast and the Furious. We're waiting on that one for the roller coaster to open, and so many other things that are being added to in and around. So I think, even though a lot of Universal's resources have been focused on Epic Universe, which is getting ready to open Memorial Day weekend, their third gate down in Florida, there's a lot that's being put into here. So I'm excited about that.
Are they really, and maybe I'm just reading too much into this, are they saying, we're not going for the family, quote unquote, family fun?
Sure.
We're going for the more tweens, teens, young adults, little more edgier fun.
That's what I'm going to agree with. They do have plenty of offerings, because obviously Super Nintendo World and Mario, that brand goes to family friendly 100%. Harry Potter, for the most part, as well. Wizarding World is the same, although during Halloween it gets, the Death Eaters come in and it really gets a darker turn, but it takes a beautiful turn for the holidays when Christmas comes around for the Wizarding World. So I think that and this is something like we talked about, and you were talking about earlier about going to the theater, going to the movies. I think they're looking at who is spending the money, where, and how. So that's why I think they're leaning into those who have more disposable income. Family vacations will always still happen. But if you look at historically, our resorts here, be it at Universal, be it at Disneyland, be it at Knott's, those are a lot of locals that are coming over and over and over again. As opposed to Florida, where you have Kissimmee and you've got Orlando and you've got SeaWorld and Universal and you've got Disney properties. I mean, you've got 4 gates for Disney. You've got 3 gates for Universal. Gates meaning the different theme parks that are available. It's literally built out to be that way. And people come from around the world to visit Orlando and Kissimmee. As opposed to here, we get a lot of maybe folks coming off the Pacific Rim. That's always historically been a very big thing. And that's why Tokyo Disneyland, if you ever go to Tokyo Disneyland, is a carbon copy of Disneyland here, because that is where the vast majority of that tourism group demographic was coming from. If you go to Tokyo Disney Sea, that's a different ballgame altogether. But that's also very unique because it's owned not by Disney, but by Oriental Land and Sea.
That's why it's $68 a ticket to
correct.
get in.
And that's the thing, to think it's only $68 to get into the parks there. Thank you, Sam. Good chime in there.
68. Wow.
$68. So they do not have an annual pass holder program in Tokyo right now, purely because $68. I mean, that's 2 movies at this point in time with popcorn and candy, or that's dinner for 4. Like, it's very inexpensive. And on top of that, depending on where the dollar is against the yen, you're able to really enjoy a lot of merchandise shopping, a lot of things. Oriental Land and Sea is very, very smart with how they develop things. I mean, they literally closed their Space Mountain completely. It's being demolished all the way to the ground. And in 2027, 2028 is when they'll be opening a brand new Space Mountain like we've never seen, with a whole new ride system inside of it. So there's so much else happening in that realm. But also, to go with Universal specifically, as we're talking about here, Universal properties in Asia are incredible, and the things that they do to pour into it. I mean, I'm so ecstatic, and it's been a long time since I've been really stoked about something at Universal, because I love it's in our backyard. I love the history that's behind it. But you don't get a lot. We don't get a lot here.
No, we don't.
Florida gets incredible things, but they have the land and the space and everything else. Here, we have a physical working studio, to the point that Universal, the company, has sold off portions of the back lot to other studios now. Not only were they contracting and still contracting, but like, it's piecemealed out. So you'll be able to go through things, but you have to think, Fast and Furious, the 3D attraction, just closed. Yeah. And you've got also Peter Jackson with his King Kong 3D. That's King Kong 360, rather. That could be on the chopping block here in the near future. But there's so much happening. The thing that I would be excited, I think this is kind of like not to go off topic a little bit, but the studio tour is where you experience, or previously experienced, the Fast and the Furious portion of the attraction here. In Florida, it's a freestanding attraction. Here, there's talk that they're going to turn it into Oz. And we might be seeing Wicked as the very closing sequence for the newly imagined studio tour that's coming.
That could be its own theme park if they built it out.
Could be. But that soundstage where Fast and the Furious was would be epic, to be able to have a way for you to actually go on a ride and go through and meet and greet the Wizard and Elphaba and Galinda. But I know we got to go.
But we're coming back, though.
We're coming back. I got so much more, but I'm excited. So I know we got a good break, but I got more for you.
What's up with Nick Pagliochini? More in just a moment. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Also YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Pagliochini. What's up with Nick is on to tell us all what he do. Pagliochini. What's up with Nick is on with free 99 for you. Pagliochini. What's up with Nick is on to give us fun things to do around SoCal. What's up with Nick is on with Mo Kelly and his crew.
KFI, Mo Kelly, Nick Pagliochini, iHeartRadio, YouTube, video.
All the things.
Nick, take it away.
I got it. So we were talking about FanFest nights that start off this Friday. They are select nights all the way through May, and that's happening at Universal Studios. But let's take it to the free 99 world. You and I me for sure, but live in the South Bay. So this weekend, I've talked about it before, Open Studios Long Beach, but this is going to be Arts Open San Pedro. So Open Studios and Galleries happening both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from noon to 6 and Sunday from noon to 4. And that'll be April 26th and 27th. This is a great opportunity for you to get out. And again, we're always talking about spending a few extra bucks on your local community and what's in your own backyard. And one of my favorite places to go that I've talked about many, many times is Crafted, which is at the Port of Los Angeles. And it is a collection of many artists who have between food and drinks and flowers and soap and candles and you name it, all the goodies are there. So you've got so much that you can check out in the San Pedro area, but it's a great opportunity for you to get out. A lot of the studios will be available even if they're not at the facilities such as Crafted, which is a big warehouse. But there's going to be dance parties going on. They've got, looks like tango lessons, Dance Factory, Folklorico, Ivy League Suit. Okay. Lots of stuff going down.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I was like, at this point, I'm just kind of looking over some of the events. I'm like, all right, well, that sounds interesting. But the thing that's really cool going on Sunday, the San Pedro Ballet will be performing as well as giving some novice classes, if you will. So if you're curious about ballet, that's something to check out. You can get details about all of this by checking out eventbrite.com, Arts Open San Pedro, or just check out the link in bio at Nick Pagliochini or This Week Out with Nick. Also, if you are out and about and are going to be happening to be in the LA Live, downtown LA area on Saturday, keep an eye out for Stefushini because we will be.
What?
I know. He may not be here now.
You missed it last year, did you, or something?
I missed it last year, but he went last year. Yeah, I know. He went last year. And so Pizza City Fest Los Angeles will be happening both Saturday and Sunday. Tickets are still available both at the general admission and the VIP level. Stefushini will be there on Saturday. So if you happen to be heading out, be sure to say hello, snap a picture with us. Always love to meet listeners. So that's a great opportunity for that. And then the last thing that's going on this weekend, it's been Filipino Food Month. And also this weekend is Filipino Weekend at Disneyland. And so there's actually a special event that has been really hard to come by. I actually will be there on Sunday, but happening at Pixar Place Hotel, which used to be Paradise Pier Hotel, which has now had the whole Pixar overlay. At the Great Maple restaurant there, they're actually having a special SoCal Filipino Food Month celebration. So if you're interested in it, you can check it out on, again, Nick Pagliochini, This Weekend with Nick. Eventbrite also has it by looking at Filipino Food Month. But it is an opportunity for you to go into a place that doesn't usually serve things that are specifically cultural in one way or another, unless it's attached to a movie or attached to Adventureland or Frontierland or whatever it is. So there's some really fun things that are going on, but you can also, again, check out Eventbrite or This Weekend with Nick Pagliochini, the link in bio, and get more information about Filipino Food Month, which will be, wrapping up at the end of April. So
that's enough.
It's enough. It's enough to keep me busy.
Okay.
But it's so much fun. And I think the thing that's so nice right now is that we're getting back into a time period where the weather is nicer. And I love that we live in Southern California because we really can do so much outdoors all year round. And so we really are spoiled in that regard. And so going back to City Walk. There's a lot of stuff coming to it back with Universal.
That's what I want to know.
And that's the thing is I'm excited to see what's coming. For a long time, it was the very stale things that had been there for years, and that's great. But City Walk really, the funniest part is there's an Abercrombie & Fitch that was there for years, and that will become a new store now. And there are many, many restaurants that have been there for years that I had never even thought about attending. And now the new places that are coming in, I'm so excited for. So it's nice to have something on this side of town. I am sending out big hopes with Cedar Fair having purchased Six Flags, along with that whole merger between Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags. I'm hoping that we'll be seeing some nice things coming to the future of Six Flags Magic Mountain up in Awesome Town or Valencia. So we'll see, because it's another opportunity for you to enjoy a place to go for, the summer season.
Again, how can they find all this information?
Again, social media. You can find me. Instagram is probably the fastest and easiest, but Nick Pagliochini, which could be a little bit more challenging. So This Weekend with Nick is the easiest. Link in bio for both will take you to all the things I've talked about today, tonight, and so much more for you to check out in and around the Southland.
Hey, Nick, can you hold on for a second? Because I want to talk about Pizza City when we come back.
Oh, yeah, totally. No, I'm definitely down.
All right, it's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube. Don't forget, tomorrow we are giving away tickets to Disney on Ice. Speaking of Disney, and the only way you can win the tickets is to watch the Later with Mo Kelly YouTube simulcast, because the clue you need is only available on the YouTube stream. So you might as well just sign up now, subscribe, just watch us every single night and enjoy the fun and see the show. If you don't know what Daniel Ferguson, our video guy, is doing, he has all sorts of what they call B-roll.
It's
We're talking
great.
about a subject and we have a video component to complement everything that we're doing.
You're missing out if you are not checking this out on YouTube 7 days a week. Well, 7 days a week to get anything that you miss, but
Right.
definitely Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. here on KFI and YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
You better be signed up for the YouTube simulcast tomorrow, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to win tickets to Disney on Ice, which is going to be Thursday. So don't call in trying to win if you're not available.
If you have not done Disney on Ice, you're definitely missing out. It's a really good time, not inside a theme park, but still incredible. So
It's only appropriate that I let off with that.
Sure.
And keep
No.
you here
Of
as
course.
because you made mention of Pizza City.
yeah,
And last year we had Stefan go. In fact, I wanted to go because if you know me, you
Yes.
talk about food, there's one food I can't resist. Pizza.
yeah. And that's why we have Fridays for the vast majority of time with the cult classic movie. There's pizza
Pizza.
here on Fridays for that reason.
Let's talk more about Pizza City. It's going to be at LA Live the last weekend of this month. Over 20 pizzerias are set to show at the Slice Centric Celebration, as they're calling it. It's kind of pricey,
Oh, it's very pricey,
But
in my
for
opinion,
me-
for water and flour. And,
Right.
Yeah, correct.
but for me,
Yeah.
if I had the time, I would
For
be
sure.
there because I will eat myself to death.
No,
when it
and
comes to pizza.
I feel you on that. And I think the thing that we need to realize too, and like we talk about a lot with What's Up with Nick and This Weekend with Nick, there's going to be a few more bucks involved when you're dealing with something that's homegrown. And that's what this event is. So it actually originated in Chicago. They have a location. They have this festival in Chicago. They have this festival here. They have it in Nashville. They have it coming up in Toronto, next year, I think it is, or maybe later this year. Anyway, the thing that I love about this is you get to try between, if you want to go both days, props, because that is definitely a pretty penny. But even if you just go to one of the 2 days, you're getting about 20 to 25 pizzaiolos or pizzerias from San Diego all the way up to Central Coast. And it's something that you'll be able to go. So like now you'll know where to get pizza in every flipping town.
To go Saturday, it's $125. And I try to amortize that over the amount of pizza that I would
Yes.
be eating. And let's say a slice, say $10 a slice. I'm being generous because,
No, I get it.
they're big slices. Yeah, I could probably eat some 10, 11 slices.
Oh yeah, easily. And I think because
Not that I
this is-
should.
No,
but
no,
I'm
no.
saying I could.
But if of all of us, you're the one that is hitting the gym on the regular. So yes, you
I
are
love me some
completely
pizza.
into it. But they do have salads. So I mean, not
But
a
I'm
whole
not.
bunch.
I'm not going to Pizza City for a
Right,
freaking
I
salad.
understand that. I totally understand that. The other thing too is shout out to Laid Cookies, LEID''D. I've friends of mine for years. They're out of Culver City. They started out with the cottage industry. They will be serving cookies for Saturday, and then there'll also be gelato available. So there's opportunities there. But the thing that's really cool and different about this is, like any convention that we talk about Comic-Con in San Diego. We talk about so many different things. There will be discussions, panels, and demonstrations for you while you're there as well. So it's not just the food. There will be beverages. There will be dessert. There will be so many other things. But 2 p.m. on Saturday, just an example. I love the title, The Dough Whisperers.
I would be yelling at them.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got 3 different specific pizzerias that are being represented from Southern California. And then the Karen Palmer, who's moderating the event, who is also the contributing food editor for LA Times. So that's really fun. And then 3 p.m. Pizza at Home, which is kind of cool, I got to say. It teaching you how to master working with dough and trying to emulate your favorite pizzerias, whether you have gas at home, wood, electric ovens, whatever the situation is, which I like. Because I like that hands-on component.
I like a wood-burning stove pizza.
And I would love to be able to own one at home, but if I can't, I would love to be able to emulate it as best I can. So being able to have either a pizza stone in my regular electric oven or gas oven. So yeah.
Do you have a preference as far as style of pizza? I love New York pizza, but for me,
Yes.
Chicago
Okay.
deep dish is my jam.
Do you have a specific pizzeria though? Because that's always the thing. Because they're all very, very similar.
I went to Chicago for the past 2 years.
Right. Okay.
For martial arts seminar, and each year I try to get some pizza and I try to get some White Castle.
I get it. I totally get it.
And I just prefer Chicago deep dish.
Okay, because I like Gino's East.
Okay.
I like Lou Malnetti's, but they're very different from each other. And these are both deep dish pizzas that are happening. The thing that I would say that I really like is Detroit style pizza.
Not wrong.
Which is not going to have all of the deep toppings that a Chicago style pizza have, but it's more like a focaccia style bread. So, and the best thing to do is if you really are able to bring the best out of that dough without it being a big fat slice of bread, truly, and being able to get the nice crispy ends around and like with the cheese that's melted, all the things. But
okay,
Detroit is
Sam, are you going to get some pizza before we get out of here?
Yeah, seriously.
Can you run
I
like
used
run
to
to the
work in
corner?
I used to work in a pizza kitchen. So,
see, there you go.
There you go.
So I love it. And yeah, I'm a Chicago deep dish. I'm partial to that. I love it. But you really can't go wrong. Detroit style is outstanding. Really. And there used to be a spot here in Burbank that used to have Chicago style. And it closed down, unfortunately. Now I think the closest one you can get is in Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
Mark, do you have a preference?
You're killing me. I used to go to Chicago all the time when I was in grad school and visit friends, and we always ate it. I think it's Leora's by Wrigley Field. Their deep dish pizza there is just so good. But I do like a thinner crust pizza that's not all bread.
Sure.
I don't know.
But I mean, like Chicago has this unique. So we got Rance's down in Long Beach, which is a fantastic Chicago style pizza down in Belmont Shore. They're a great opportunity. But the thing that's funny too that people don't realize, it takes 45 minutes to bake a pie that thick.
Yes.
Because you're looking at a layer of sausage, you're looking at a layer, and even if you're not if you're a vegetarian, they are putting on all the cheese and
It's like
all of the
lasagna.
veggie. No, exactly, 100%. Detroit style is definitely going to be that breadier one. But even if you go to something like Neapolitan style, which is going to be your absolute thinnest crust.
Not a fan.
But the funnier part is too, people are like, oh, well, I need it to be crispy, but I lived in Naples, Italy for 3 years. So I know exactly, I went to Brandy's where a Neapolitan pizza was created, and it's not going to be that way anyway.
But I'll tell you, Italian pizza is not as good as American pizza.
It's different. American
Right.
style Italian food is not
Correct.
Italian food. You go
Right.
to Italy, it's not lathered in cheese.
Well, wasn't pizza invented here anyway?
Yeah, but I'm saying Italian food in
but
general.
But even if you're going to do the pizza
and
thing,
I'm
that
saying
Mark's
this to you
trying
as
to
Nick
push. No, right.
Pagliochini, but I'm
Right.
saying, but
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
and the guy who's actually lived in Italy. So, but that's the thing is, I agree with you. The art form of pizza, as we know it here in the United States, is so vastly different than if you go to get a Roman style pizza, which is more like a flatbread. Like we think of a flatbread when you go out as a Roman style pizza. Neapolitan pizza, everybody's familiar with that. New York style pizza is a thing in and of itself. And it depends because I have got fantastic friends here. I go to many places where the water is brought in from New York and they bring in the flour and they've got double zero and all these things that are so unique and special. But still, I mean, I've got two places in Long Beach. You got Nona Mercado and Speak Cheesy, which will be there at Pizza City
that's
Fest.
a cool name.
It's great. And Speak Cheesy especially, they also do soft serve ice cream pretty darn close to the Dole Whip. They don't do it all year round, but they usually do spring through summer. But anyway, those are two different pizzerias that are in Long Beach that I'm very familiar with. And while they have a Neapolitan style of pizza, it is definitely, as Mark said, it's a United States pizza. Like it is pizza. And you just said
Okay,
as well.
the show's over. I'm getting ready to go get some pizza.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we need pizza stat.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the funniest part on Sunday, Prime Pizza, which is something we enjoy here very often, they'll be at the Pizza City Fest. So
Now, Nick, didn't you and Foosh go and were you not witness to Foosh eating just a superhuman number
yeah, we're
of
doing it
pizza
again
slices?
this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
We're doing it. Like you will be able to see it. I mean, maybe if Mo is so kind to give me the later credentials, you might even see it on Later with Mo Kelly this weekend.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
I think a normal person can eat, 2 or 3 pieces, but Foosh, I forget the number.
No.
I'm way past normal when it comes to pizza.
What's your max?
Mo said 11.
When we have pizza in here, I am being polite with
Yeah,
even
that's true.
3.
Right.
I'm being polite. I'm
Okay.
not being really selfish. I could easily do 6 or 7.
Good
Easy.
Lord.
Not breaking a sweat.
So you're like the guy in Monty Python's Meaning of Life.
Pretty much. When it comes to pizza and Krispy Kreme original glazed donuts, there is no upper limit.
Just one more piece. It's wafer thin.
Yeah. Law of diminishing returns. It's not, the slice number 7 is not as good as slice
Correct.
number 1, but it's going down.
If you say so.
It's later with Mo Kelly.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
KFI AM 640 and YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
All right, let's get to this final thought. My trip to the movies this morning. I went to see Sinners, the new Michael B. Jordan movie directed by Ryan Coogler. My schedule has been so very hectic, I couldn't get the time to see it the first few days that it came out. In fact, I was supposed to go with the fellas to see it Friday early afternoon, but I didn't get a chance to do it because of other family commitments. But I wanted to see it and see it immediately. That's the point. So I saw it today. I chose the very first show, 11 a.m., and this is not a movie review, so I'm not going to get caught up in what I thought about the movie. But long story short, in that 11 a.m. movie, the first show of the day at Cinepolis Inglewood, two other guests were loudly talking through the movie. Came in late, loudly talking, order food, loudly talking, being disruptive, and smelling like weed. And you know how I feel about the weed part. And I waited a while. You try to put up with stuff for a while until you can't put up with it anymore. And then I called them out. And it did become a huge thing, thank goodness, but it still became a thing. And nobody wants to go to a movie and have to worry about getting into some sort of fight, some sort of conflict, and ruin the movie. But it got me thinking, how and why did we get here? Everyone has these stories. Here, as in the place where manners, decency, and acting like a responsible adult fell out of favor. I think it has to do with the pandemic. We lost a lot during the pandemic, I think, and that's inclusive of basic socialization skills, basic common courtesy. I'm talking about the bare minimum. Mind you, we didn't have a lot before COVID, and we sure as hell barely had any after COVID. And this is kind of still connected to my thoughts earlier in the week about physical discipline and corporal punishment. There is just zero respect anymore. That's what it comes down to, zero. And that's not, I'm an old man, get off my grass talking. There are just some things which are or should be timeless and not relegated to some bygone era. I kid you not. I really considered whether going to the movies, physically going to the movies, was worth it anymore today. I shouldn't have to pay money and miss out on parts of a movie I paid for, or have to worry about some sort of confrontation from some two other knuckleheads who are smoked out, or they won't stop kicking the back of my chair, or they won't stop texting or talking in the theater. I shouldn't have to worry about that. But this is something that movie theaters will have to address more forcefully if they hope to survive as an industry. But it's not just limited to movie theaters. The complete lack of respect and home training, that's rampant. And I got all your messages. You're complaining and moaning about me supporting spanking of children. Yes, I am fully in support of spanking/physical discipline. I get it. You can't differentiate between correction and child abuse. You don't see any difference. Well, I'm here to tell you that's a you problem. And because you don't see any difference, this society, which is inclusive of me and you, has become ridiculously permissive. But you at the same time complain like I do, that people in general are out of control. You complain that kids are out of control. But here's the thing about adults. They were kids once upon a time, and badass kids turned into pain in the ass adults. They had 18 years of no discipline, and then they become adults with no discipline or respect. And then we want to argue about getting tougher on crime instead of getting tougher on discipline and stopping the pre-criminal behavior while we could have. No, I've never supported giving Timmy a time out. Bump that. No discipline having kids turn into no respect adults. It's weird how these two are always connected. We can't have it both ways. I would like to go to the movies and not have to worry about getting into a fight. but now I have to because this is the society in which we live. It's a shame that I might be asking way too much. Spank your badass kids. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
Untangling the mess until it makes sense.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.